Okay, so we are up here above Whitwell, Tennessee, and we're at the site of one of the old Reels Cove coal mine sites, the Real Cove #1, operated by the Tennessee Byproducts Corporation or Company. So this mine sits about 1,800 feet, 1,750 to 1,800 feet above sea level, and it's on top of the mountain, which it pretty much goes straight down. But this right here, there's not much left of it. But this right here is was the mine office for the Reels Cove mines right here. So just a few cinder block walls right here. And this was all built in the 1940s, early to mid 1940s. So just over here would be where the bathhouse remains were, the machine shop, and they got some stairs, and just up above would be where the portal to Reels Cove #1 mine would be, along with the manway entrance. So anyway, we're going to go this way and then head on up over and take a look at where the mine site was. But this sits on top of a mountain right here. So down below, way down below, almost 1,750 feet down, would be a spur line of the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railroad that branched off their main line running up through the Sewanee Valley, if I pronounce that right, past Whitwell. So the incline tip would be just further down. But we're just going to go through here and take a look at the building remains and then go up here to the mine site. All this water that's flowing down is actually coming out of the mine right here. That's pretty incredible. It's just a whole swamp. So we'll work our way around this way over here to the remains of the bathhouse. And I think there's some steps or remains of it. We'll work our way up top. But all that water, I mean, look at the elevation we're at. Basically about 1,800 feet. Look at all that water coming out. And it's just going to make its way down all the way to the bottom of the mountain. So, all right, we'll head over here. Okay, this is a view from the top of the mountain, looking down to the valley below and across the mountain ranges. Sun's just coming up. So I tell you what, I mean, I guess if you're going to work in a coal mine, work in one with a picturesque view. It's beautiful scenery up here. But this right here is the remains of the Reels Cove #1 bathhouse right here. And you can see they just tore down everything. It's amazing why they even left these standing, but they tore everything else down. So, like I said, all this was built between 1944, 1945, maybe. So operated for quite a number of years. And further down will be the Reels Cove #2 mine. So anyway, they had a set of stairs, if I can find them. When the miners came out of the bathhouse, they went up the stairs and they could go straight into the mine portal. This was a drift mine that operated on the Sewanee seam. And it wasn't a big seam. I think it was maybe 36 to 48 inch thick coal seam, but they pretty much mined out the whole mountain from Whitwell all the way up here to Reels Cove, and that whole other mountain range over there, that was completely mined out. So right over here somewhere was a machine shop, but we'll just make our way up here to where the mine site is and take a look at it. Okay, this might be where the machine shop was, right here, because you see the rail remains right here. So this right here is where the mechanics could get underneath and work on the electric locomotives. maybe even the mine carts. But if those rails were still visible, they would turn and go straight into the mine. But anyway, so like I said, this is where the machine shop was, the repair shop. So, well, that's pretty neat. You can still see the rails right there. But Mr. Box is over there. I think that's the manway. I think they, however they did it, they sealed up the portal, but they left the manway entrance intact. But let me get over there and take some videos. Okay, so what we thought was the manway entrance is incorrect. That is the actual mine portal entrance to the Reels Cove #1 mine. Where Mr. Box is, well, however they did it, they had a separate manway entrance just about where he's standing. So that was concrete line. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know why they covered that up, but they had their reason. And over here was an air ventilation entry. That's where all that water is coming out of. All that water that's pouring out, that's coming from where the fan house was, the air ventilation entry to the mine. But you can see all this water has just come out. But yeah, that is the mine entrance. That's not the manway entrance. So where Mr. Box is where the manway entrance was. So those rails that I was showing over there at the machine shop, so the electric locomotives, the drivers with the coming out, hauling the mine carts, they'd come out of the mine, and there was a turnoff here, and they would take it down to the coal rotary dump that's further down. So they had 2 rotary dumps, one for a rock dump, rock and waste dump, and the other one for the coal. So we'll get up over here and just take a look at it real quick. Okay, so this is the Reels Cove #1 mine entrance right here. So they've got it all blocked up inside with the bars and dirt shoved up in there, but you can see water always finds a way to come out of this mine. So just around the corner, I'm not going to waste my time with that. That's where the fan house was. There's water just flowing out of where that fan house entry was. So you get up here. So, yeah, so I mean, that's wide enough for an electric locomotive to come out. But they've got that baby sealed up. No one's ever getting in there. And even if you were, you're going to encounter who knows how much water that dirt dam is holding back. So, but anyway, very, very interesting coal mine site. Over 1,700, almost 1,800 feet above sea level. And they just mined out, extracted the coal from inside, from the top of this mountain inside for miles in every direction. So, you can see where some of that wood and stuff has collapsed. That's interesting, but they've definitely got that thing secured, but who would even want to go in there? So, but they probably had to do it for liability and insurance reasons. So, all right, well, we're going to leave here and continue down on actually what was the tramway rail bed, all the way around, headed to the other mine. Okay, so just around the corner there is the Reels Cove #1 mine entrance. The bathhouse, machine shop, mine offices way back there, and some other various support buildings, and the fan house. So this is where the rail lines were for the electric locomotives, and they would any of the waste like shale, rock waste, they would bring separately on mine carts and the rail line ran right over this way, and they had a rotary dump for the mine cars, and right here they had an incline, and this is where all the rock waste, shale, and everything other than coal was tipped over and went straight down an incline to a waste dump at the bottom of the mountain. And down there you can see where they had to cut this out. I don't know how in the world they built this, but incredible engineering. And you can see this right here supported the rail lines. So this was a whole rail line with not two coal rotary dumps, but two minecart rotary dumps. And they just sent the rock waste, and way down there you can actually see, Josh, are those rail sections?
It looks like it.
Yeah. So they came from up here or as part, and I think this is how the miners came up here from way down below. Just like at the Whitwell mine, they would catch the man trip cars and come up the incline. I'm not sure if this is how they got up here to their workstation, but it would make sense, like at the Whitwell mine. But that's a hell of a ride to work, man. Almost 1,800 feet straight up the mountain. But anyway, just further down should be where the coal rotary dump is, and further down should be where the Reels Cove #2 mine is. But just what these guys did, these engineers and owners did to find the coal seam. And here it is on top of this mountain. Well, that's a beautiful view. All right, looking out across the valley, and it's hard to imagine that all over there, that 200-foot rock escarpment there, just above it, they had coal mines. So looking down here, this big concrete square base, this is where the coal rotary dump was. So you actually had an elevated rail line coming from Reels Cove #2, Reels Cove #1. So the rails came all the way out over here, and using coal rotary dumps, dumping the coal into this big hopper, this big chute, and that escarpment, that cut, that's about a 200-foot straight down rock escarpment. It's a natural opening. That's where they decided to put the coal conveyor, if you wanted to say. It was a 5-foot diameter cylinder tube that went straight down the mountain, made a turn almost 1,800 feet, and went down to the coal washer and the coal tipple, and that's where the spur line of the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railroad was. But this right here held all the coal, and it's hard to imagine this is where they had the rail lines coming all the way across. So all you see now is just that concrete base of where the coal hopper was, or the coal chute. So incredible engineering, man. So Reels Cove #2 should be probably about 200 yards around the side of the mountain. But like I said, man, incredible scenery. I guess if you're going to be a miner, like I said, be a miner with a view. So
I got to get close to it.
All right, Mr. Box says he's going to wander on down there to take a closer look. Okay, so I got goaded by Mr. Box to go ahead and come on down. So, because he wanted me to take a look at this. So, this right here, the rails would have been coming over, had supports for the rails. And this is where, if you want to say, the coal chute, the hopper was. Coal was dumped into here, and he wanted me to take a look at this pipe. Well, that's the exact pipe that carried the coal all the way down the mountain. I can't remember, either 1,000 feet down, it went to a transfer station where it turned. But let's see if I can get over there. Well, yeah, I don't want to stand up to it. This is good. But that is the actual pipe. It's 5 feet in diameter. And that on the top right there is they had a catwalk with rails. You can still see the remains of it right there. And they had a catwalk to where an engineer or a maintenance person could actually come all the way up the pipe by following the catwalk steps. But when the coal was deposited from the mine carts dumped into here, they had an electrically controlled door down there that opened up, and it sent the coal down through a conveyor system inside the pipe, and it just traveled all the way down, I think about 1,000 feet, and it went to a transfer station. From there, it was dropped down, I think, another 750 feet to the coal washer. But there's some more structures down there. But so they said this was a natural opening in the escarpment, which is about 150 feet high, and that's why they decided to build it right here. But I'll tell you one thing, hope these guys got hazard pay for building this. I mean, man, this is just kind of eerie looking all the way down there. So, but that's incredible. That's why he asked me to come down here. That's a section of the original pipe of the conveyor system that went down the mountain, and way down below was the spur line of the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railroad. That's where they had the coal washer and the tipple, but phew, absolute incredible engineering. So, yeah, I appreciate him goaded me down here. Okay, so we're staying on top of the mountain, and people occasionally use this for off-roading. So this is the actual rail line right here. Oh yeah, that's the box. Yeah, look at that. Still got the cross ties in place. So this is where the electric locomotives ran all the way from the Reels Cove number 2 that we're heading to. But can't really see through those trees. That's like a 600-foot or something escarpment going straight down. But absolutely incredible scenery. Okay, this right here, this is a good site right here. This is a rail bed cut, and looking straight ahead leads you straight to the mine. So if you didn't know if you were on the right track, you can just take a look right there. There's a whole section of rail still in place. Right there. So, this will should take us right down to the Reels Cove number 2 mine. All right, well, we're getting close. You got, they left a whole rail sections intact, along with the cross ties. We've passed over a ton of cross ties. That's hard to believe that's still there. But anyway, should be just ahead, just a short ways up to the mine. Okay, so we're slowly getting there, almost to the mine site. But you've got some concrete structures or foundations where Mr. Box is at. This could be, I'm not sure if this was a machine shop or something, but yeah, there are lots and lots of cross ties on the ground. So there's little foundation remains all the way back through here. So, and there's a foundation remain right there. So we'll get back onto the rail bed / track here, and it should be just straight ahead. Okay, well, we've reached the Reels Cove number 2 mine site here. I hear a lot of water. And so you've still got some buildings remains right there. And there's the mine entrances over there. You know, it's going to be sealed up, but it is cool to see right here. That almost looks like pretty reinforced for a fan house. I have to go there and take a look at it. All right, yeah, there's some great pictures of this mine site here when it was in operation. I mean, they spent some money, I think, to develop this mine, and the Reals Cove 1 is respectively like $800,000 to $1 million at that time. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. I think they had about 225 or 250 miners working in this mine alone. All right. So this number 2 Reals Cove mine, 1949. This was just like Whitwell Reals Cove number 1. This was a drift mine, so it wasn't a slope mine. So and it's not every day you get to see a mine portal that's still intact, at least with the name on it. Oh yeah, they do. Right there and right there, they still left the rail lines intact. So, solid construction, man. So yeah. Yeah. So they left, they had the rail lines on to the left. Must have left a passageway. I don't know if this had a manway. It did have a fan house, but this may have been enough way for the miners if they needed to walk in. But this thing spread out for miles underground, this mine. I need to check and see when it closed. It could have closed in the late 60s or sometime in the mid 70s, but I'll have to check that again. But impressive. You can see they probably, by the looks of it, they used dynamite to seal it. But, you know, some enterprising person, you got these rails there, you're never getting in. Looks like you could probably get back in, but then you're going to deal with all this water. So, just think we're about maybe up here about a 1,786, I think I read, elevation. And look at all this water. So, but there's some impressive photos of this mine when it was in operation. So, but pretty neat. That's looking back outside Mr. Bugs. So, I guarantee you, man, it was cold when they came out of this mine in the wintertime when it was just snowing. Whew. All right. We're going to take a look around at some more sites and see what else we can find. Okay, so the Reels Cove #2 mine entrance is here. So what we've got over here is the remains of the fan house with various graffiti everywhere. So whenever you see some heavy duty structure like this, yeah, most likely it's the fan house. Now, back over there, they could have had a separate bathhouse for this mine, which would make sense, but they could have still been using, the miners could have been using the Reels Cove #1 mine bathhouse and just taking the electric locomotives all the way down here to begin their shift, which would make sense because if they were taking that incline, a man trip going down, they got to go down that way anyway. So they do somewhere over there. I think that structure over there is where the machine shop was, the repair shop for the locomotives and the mine cars. But not sure what that is. That foundation is over there. But they most likely used the bathhouse at the #1 mine. And this had its own separate machine shop, I believe. So, but yeah, this right here was the fan house. This is where the air went straight into it. You can see this right there. We actually saw another fan house similar to this. So same kind of setup with the fan. I'm not sure if this was Crossan and McCrimmon or Jeffries. They had a variety of companies that made these fans for mine ventilation. But that's probably, well, they were drawing it out. Either got sucked into there, but the fan was right here. So I put a lot of money into this, but yeah, the fan entry into the mine will be right here. So, all right, and we're gonna keep having a look around for a little while, see what else we can find. Okay, so this is the top of the fan house right here. This would have been a solid wall. And that right there, this was all totally encased. And this is where the entry point was for the fan house right there. So you can see they got that blocked off. It's got water. But interesting nonetheless. So, all right. Well, we'll just keep looking around here, see what we find. All right. Well, this will probably finish up our field trip up here to the Reels Cove mine site at #1 and #2. We'll keep an eye out for anything else of interest. But nevertheless, man, impressive engineering to build these mines at such an elevation. And see, we're not even at the top of the mountain yet. I believe the mountain is about 2,300 feet in elevation. So it's about, according to what I read, about 1,786, 1,800, give or take. So it's spread out level all the way underneath, connected with Reels Cove #1. And on the other side of the valley on that mountain range, there were more coal mines. So, and they were pretty much interconnected with the Reels Cove #2 mine. So that would be a several day journey to check all those out. But anyway, that'll kind of do it. And we'll start the walk back, but definitely worth the trip, man. Good trip up here to see all this.